What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Seahawks Now. Today, we have kind of a sad subject to discuss. Today, we're answering the question, has Tyler Lockett played his last game for the Seahawks? That question is coming up right here on Seahawks Now, but first, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit the bell for more notifications. This is brought to you by FanArch. Alrighty, guys, so let's get into this question. Has Tyler Lockett played his last game as the Seattle Seahawks? He's been around for so long, and he has been such a productive player. He obviously came to the Seahawks in 2015, and when he started with the Seahawks, if you remember, he was primarily a kick returner. He was not supposed to be wide receiver one, but with Russell Wilson as his quarterback and with Doug Baldwin mentoring him and eventually with DK Metcalf by his side, Tyler Lockett became a top-tier wide receiver in the NFL. For a couple of seasons, he was really, really good. And while it does pain me to see him leave, there's a chance that this could be the end of the road for Tyler Lockett. So I want to look at his stats, first of all. Tyler Lockett on the season, he went for 600 yards, 49 receptions, 2 touchdowns. He averaged 12.2 yards per reception, and he had 134 yards after catch. On the surface, those numbers are not all that impressive. And obviously, we can give it some context. He was wide receiver 3 this year. So he wasn't going to get as many opportunities. We kind of understood that. That was kind of almost a given, right? Jackson Smith-Njigba has kind of taken over Tyler Lockett's role. DK Metcalf's still around. So Tyler, he wasn't expected to do as much. He wasn't needed to do as much. But at the same time, only 2 touchdowns on 49 receptions. 134 yards after the catch is just not all that much. And in today's NFL, yards after catch is so important. Tyler has a bit of a reputation for being a guy who doesn't want to get hit, especially as he's aged. As he's aged, he has not been the type of receiver to run straight into the fire. He would rather go down, which is okay. I understand that. I don't want to fault a player for choosing to prioritize their health and their safety over a couple extra yards. But I think it is worth noting. Now I want to talk about Tyler Lockett's age. Tyler Lockett, he is an aging star. He turns 33 next September. He's been around for a long time. 10 years with the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, it's true. And as much as we wish we had the fountain of youth and we could just, continue to keep these players year after year after year, players get older, right? Guys age. And, it's a natural part of the game. It's a natural part of life. 33-year-old wide receivers don't get paid. That's just the truth. And 33-year-old wide receivers, unless you're very special, they don't usually produce all that much, right? There are cases where they do. Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, obviously. But Tyler Lockett's not a generational star. He's really good. He's not Randy Moss. He's not Larry Fitzgerald. You know what I mean? Again, not trying to fault on Tyler Lockett. We have to be realistic. Most 33-year-old wide receivers either don't play because they're either retired or they are like a Randall Cobb where they maybe catch maybe a couple passes per game and they're really more there for moral support than anything else. Now, maybe that's what we want. Maybe we want Tyler Lockett to stick around and just kind of be moral support. That might benefit the team. That might benefit Geno Smith. But I think you have to start thinking in terms of how much longer does this guy have? Because clearly he's slowing down. His body is slowing down. His production is slowing down. His age is getting older. I don't know how much longer you can justify paying him, and that's where it comes to the final thing I want to talk about, the contract. Lockett's owed $10 million in 2025. It'd be a $30 million cap hit. And obviously $10 million, that's less than what he's been paid in the past. He's made more money than that in the past. But $10 million is still a lot of money to pay Tyler Lockett right now, especially when, at the moment at least, it feels like he's putting up numbers that we could get from a 4th or 5th round pick. 600 yards is still a solid amount of yards. Don't get me wrong. 600 yards is good. But as far as the yards per reception metrics, as far as the yards after catch, and the red zone production was not there this year. Only 2 touchdowns. I think you can get a similar level of production from a 3rd or 4th round pick that you're paying $1 million or $2 million. I don't think it helps the team to be paying your number 3 receiver $10 million. Now, last year they restructured the contract, so he only actually ended up making about $5 million this year. They could restructure it again if they wanted to. But I think at this point, even paying Lockett $5 million is probably not what he's worth at this point in his career. Because he's not that dynamic playmaker anymore. You can draft a guy in the 3rd or 4th round who can go 400 yards and 2 touchdowns with very similar yards per reception, and I think that is about what you need to do. But I don't think it is worth it to keep Tyler Lockett around. The rumors say the team has not made up their mind yet, which is interesting. I do see the appeal of keeping around a veteran guy who knows the system, who knows the team, who knows the culture. Right, Tyler is one of the last guys left from the Legion of Boom era, right? I mean, even DK kind of got there at the very end of that. Tyler Lockett was around for some really good Seahawks teams, and he was a part of a 2015 team that won a playoff game. He was a part of a 2016 team, I believe, that won the division. He was a part of a 2020 team that won the division, a 2019 team that won a playoff game. The last time that we won a playoff game, Tyler Lockett was our number 1 receiver on that team when we beat the Rams. So, no, we beat the Eagles 2019. We lost to the Rams the next year. But either way. So Tyler's been around. He knows the culture. He knows the team. Maybe you say, just keep him, right? He can work with Geno. Even if he's not going to be this featured star in the offense, he can still play a role. And I do see the appeal in that. I do see why we might have that sentiment. Personally, I'm kind of on the opposite end. I think that it's time. I think all good things, all good partnerships have to come to an end. And I think it's time. I think Tyler Lockett has played his last game as a Seattle Seahawk. But I want to know what you guys think. Has Tyler Lockett played his last game for the Seahawks? Let me know down in the comments section below. Do you want to see Tyler Lockett return on a 1-year restructured deal? Or do you think that Tyler Lockett has run his course as a member of the Seahawks? As always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and go Seahawks.